Hi, this is Adekyn with another Grand Ages Rome how-to video. This is part two of our food and entertainment satisfaction video. And in part one, we built the basic starting kind of working class city. We got our goods production going, and now we're going to use those goods to so that we're able to create equites, basically our middle class. And in building in Grand Ages Rome, a lot of times it just really follows those stages. You build the working class, you get production going, you get food started, then you get some entertainment going and get your equites, your middle class going, and then when you've expanded some more, you've got things going, you got some income, and you get marble and the additional building material you need, you take care of olive oil, clothing, etc. Then you can move to patricians. So in this one, we're going to focus on the equites, the middle class. And the first thing you have to have is a forum. You can't build any of the equites houses or the buildings that they staff without the forum. So while that forum's building, we're just sort of finishing off our build and just adding some more farms and what have you. Now the forum has completed and we can start working on equites. And equites need food and goods, which we've gotten from our insulae. And now the other thing they need is entertainment. So we're looking to see if the theater would fit. It won't. So we're going to go with we're playing the expansion pack here. So we're going to use this nice little new building called an Odeum, which is basically a little mini theater. And here's a sad mistake. Just now queuing up research. Shame on me. But I was more focusing on the concepts here rather than actually playing a mission. So setting up an equite to house to staff the Odeum, and I made an interesting mistake here. I didn't even realize it for a while. The Odeum has already staffed, and it's staffed with an insula that happened to be within range without employment, and so I meant for that equite to staff it. So our entertainment's actually still low. If an equite were staffing that Odeum, then we'd be all right. We'd have our 20 entertainment. So I'm going to add an inn to add to the entertainment and staff it with an equite. And you can do that because we also have a grape farm going. So we have basically all 5 farms going at this point. And so building in and looking at building a tavern, but first I want to put down a prefecture to cut down on the materials maintenance costs, so I have more free building materials. So I'm gonna put it over there, and if I ended up expanding this, it'd be nice to have it more centrally located, but there's fine, and we can move one. If that's if you think of that as the northwest corner, then over in the southeast we might build a second prefecture just to make sure we cover all the buildings. But at any rate, now the big thing is to look for your problems. In the original, those buildings would be darkened, the ones with the flags on them. In the expansion, they have those flags. That indicates there's an issue, in this case crime. That's the crime symbol you see there. And what's happening, first of all, that Equites was unemployed and had low entertainment. Now we have employment for him, so he's okay, but we still have our issue with we're kind of bumping people up. So now we see that we've got our Odeum fixed, we've moved it to equite, but we see that on our end the problem is that there's not enough bread. And the key here is that your butcher and baker need to overproduce by being staffed by equites. If they're staffed by insula, they'll produce enough to get your 50% food, which is what you need in the first stage. But you need to upgrade those butchers and bakers to be staffed by equites, so they overproduce bread, they overproduce sausage, and that bread is then used by the inn, the sausage is used by the taverns, and that way you can put in inns and taverns. And the inns and taverns also, not only do they increase your food production, but they increase your entertainment, so you get a double hit there. So we finally got our inn working because we've now been able to staff it, and we've got our bakery upgraded to equites, and now we're checking that got very high food satisfaction and good entertainment. And now we're going to put in a tavern, which will make the food go up even more and the entertainment go up even more. And both the inn and the tavern are going to be staffed by equites. They're candidates to be staffed by patricians. So if we wanted to move on later on as we build other communities, we might have those staffed by patricians. But for patricians, you have to have your clothing, olive oil, all that set up, as well as your food, goods, and entertainment. So we're not ready for that yet. We're still in the equites or middle class stage. But now we're going to set up a tavern, and we'll see that the tavern has an issue. So we look at that, and we see that it is short on sausage. So it's similar to the problem we had with the inn and bread. We're short on sausage. So what we're going to do here is make sure that our butcher is upgraded to an equites. We've upgraded the baker. Now we're going to upgrade the butcher, and we're short one equites house in order to do that. So once that's built, and we're going to speed that one up. I don't feel like waiting on it. But once that one is built, we'll upgrade our butcher. It'll overproduce on sausage. The sausage will be used by the tavern. The tavern will be up and working and functional, and we'll have butcher, baker, in tavern all working and influencing most of our houses that we've built. And that way we'll have very high food, very high entertainment. We've also got our temple there, and go back to our concept of building key buildings in the middle. And notice how we're staying away from the middle. We're just putting those inn and tavern in there, and the houses ring around that middle ring, because we want to leave space to put additional temples in there to get our religious rating up. So you can put a temple to Mars, a temple to Vesta, even Jupiter. And eventually, if we're able to do it, we'll staff them with patricians. If not, we'll start out with equites for Mars and Vesta. That should provide a basic understanding of food and entertainment satisfaction. Hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it helps.